world, I'd like to introduce a special guest speaker from the Indian government, one of the 23 partner governments with the Clean Energy Ministerial. Jyoti Arora is a joint secretary in India's Ministry of Power, where she oversees policies in clean energy. In her more than 26 years' experience in the Indian Administrative Service, Joint Secretary Arora has worked at the grassroots level on issues of energy access, its delivery, and appropriate technology options. Previously, she served as the chief of India's Bureau of Energy Efficiency, B, where she helped to set up technical standards for the PAT scheme, which stands for Perform, Achieve, Trade, a trading scheme aimed to reduce energy consumption in industries across India, and the Super Efficient Equipment Program. She has also represented the country in the UN climate change negotiations. Additionally, we're honored to have her as a key ally of the C3E initiative. Welcome, Joint Secretary, and thank you for traveling such a distance to be with us today.
A very good afternoon to you. I'm very happy to be here on the invitation of MIT Energy Initiative and US Department of Energy. We had hosted SEM4 in April in Delhi, and as a side event, there was a panel discussion on C3E initiative, where one of the panelists was Mrs. Stephen Chu. There was another minister from Africa, South Africa, and it was a very interesting presentation. But the issue which came out during that panel discussion was that in the C3E, the point of view of developing countries is underrepresented, in the sense that innovation is important, leadership is important, but access issues are also as important. Therefore, today I will speak on the developing countries' perspective on women's involvement in clean energy innovations and transformations, with special focus on access issues. Energy poverty is one of the most critical challenges facing the international community. We've been hearing since morning that there are around 1.3 billion people who have access only to biomass for cooking and heating, and about 1.5 billion more have access only to unreliable electricity networks. People deprived of such basic energy services are less likely to earn a living, stay healthy, and have time for learning and fulfillment. While both poor men and poor women suffer from energy poverty, women are disproportionately affected as their access to energy resources and benefits is further curtailed by unequal power relations. Even where access to commercial energy exists, high costs and lack of affordability prevents access to these services for women. Tariff settings usually are gender neutral, and in the process, the use of modern commercial energy by poor women becomes at best limited. Thus, for developing countries, providing energy access to stupendously large unaccessed people, most of them being women, on sustainable basis, and to simultaneously meet the aspirational level of even accessed consumers for higher level of energy access is a challenge, and to do it in a clean energy framework on a sustainable basis is quite daunting for policy administrators. I, as such a policy administrator, would like to share with you what we are doing, what are the challenges and opportunities for gender mainstreaming, and also the challenges this kind of scenario opens up for clean energy options. I will quickly go through my presentation in 10 minutes, and thereafter would like to take questions, since I am dealing with 2-3 issues simultaneously of how gender mainstreaming is being done, what are we doing in the clean energy area, what are the access issues. So I'll quickly like to go through that, and in case there are questions, I'd like to answer thereafter. Now, I think this is just to set the tone that there is clear evidence of strong linkage between women's empowerment, sustainable energy, and sustainable development. And women are inevitable actors for transition from conventional energy to sustainable energy. They are often in the driver's seat as entrepreneurs and providers of sustainable energy solutions at the community level. And involvement of women in the design, distribution, management, and consumption of sustainable energy solutions is essential for quest for clean energy transformation. Now, there is a two-way relationship between women empowerment and sustainability, sustainable energy, both feeding each other. I think this is very important. And in a modern economy, this is how the picture looks like, that women usually decide purchase of energy using equipment for households. They could drive purchase decisions in favor of clean and more efficient technologies. They can become ambassador of use of public transport. They can influence the use of alternate fuels. And therefore, they can lead to more gender equality and empowerment in all its senses. However, there are barriers and challenges, particularly in developing economies, for women in clean energy transformation. Women's decisions, there is overall general energy poverty and lack of access to clean energy. There are skewed gender rights to own land, borrow money, and make economic decisions. I think the literature on how non-ownership of land affects them even accessing renewable energy like wind, how that is a barrier. There is, of course, unequal representation in policy-making measures in energy sector. If it is in the modern economy, it's much more so in the developing economies. And there is lack of education and training of women on business management and sustainable energy technology. Things are changing, but still it remains a barrier. Regarding energy poverty and access, there are issues of availability, there are issues of accessibility, and there are issues of affordability, as I've already said, that there is a strong, there is a large population which does not have access, and large population which has access, the quality is very unreliable. Of course, there is a lot of aspirational need which has to be satisfied. On the affordability side, there are issues, and especially women are not able to afford more than the men. So to overcome these challenges, this is what needs to be done, that we have to promote innovation in clean energy, given that women spend a major proportion of their time and effort in securing fuel, particularly in rural areas. Establish and implement accountability measures and indicators to ensure gender equity and women's agency in the energy sector. And more important than that, support generation collection and use of gender disaggregated data on energy use, energy sector employment, and impacts of energy development in defining gender-sensitive targets and indicators. This data is there, but much more disaggregation needs to be done. And of course, there have to be gender-positive policies in legislation and programs and projects. Now, coming to what are the challenges in a country like India in the clean energy domain? See, as of now, around 60% of power, 60% of fuel needs are being met through coal and gas. This is, of course, unclean energy. The share of hydro is around 18%, and renewable, as of now, is only 12%. Now, India is heavily dependent on conventional energy sources. However, if we combine hydro and renewable, this proportion is 30%, but 70% comes from traditional fuels. Now, even with this, the per capita consumption of India as compared to other economies is much, much low, and aspirationally, it would need much more energy in the next 2 decades. Now, to satisfy this kind of need, now in 5 years' time, as of now, the installed capacity is around 132 gigawatts, and total capacity addition, which we are envisaging in next 5 years, is going to be around 55,000 megawatt, and proposed capacity addition is going to be 88,000 megawatt in the next plan. So, which means that, and this 132 gigawatt, there has been a doubling of capacity in the last year. In the next 10 years, we are again thinking of doubling this capacity. Now, this kind of huge need cannot be satisfied only by clean energy options of renewables or energy efficiency. Of course, we have set for ourselves a huge target of saving through energy efficiency around 11 gigawatt and renewable capacity addition of 5 years for 30,000 megawatt. In the previous slide, I had shown that there are around 12,000 megawatt as of now we have from the renewable. Now, this is a huge challenge. But to meet this demand, even this, naturally the clean options, we'll have to look into the traditional fuels as well. If the GDP growth is at 8% now, then by 2023, the expected need of the economy would be 800 gigawatts. So these are huge numbers. How we can have this through clean energy sources, how we can make the traditional sources more clean, that is the challenge. 33% of populations do not have grid connectivity as of now, as per the 2011 census. Now, we are looking for that 33% population as an opportunity. Now, this 33% of population where it's difficult to reach through the regular normal grid, most of it we are trying to give access through the renewable energy options. Now, this is the goal. The issues are being addressed through providing, and this is, of course, an aspirational need, and the Government of India is committed to provide energy access to all, and also have energy efficiency, promote clean energy, and also meet the climate change obligations. Now, just like to show in 2-3 slides what kind of policy initiatives are being taken. Now, particularly, I would like to mention the Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Vidyutikaran Yojana, which is RGGVY. This is a huge scheme. Through this scheme, which was started in the year 2005, with the object of electrifying all villages and provide access to electricity to all rural households. This is the kind of the numbers. In the year 2004, around 0.6 million villages, out of 0.6 million villages, 125,000 villages were unelectrified. Out of 138 million rural households, 78 million households were not electrified. In one of the posters outside, somebody has written that in India only 17% people have access. I think that's an incorrect figure. Now, after starting of this scheme of RGGVY, about in the last 8 years, with the kind of money which has been spent, this is around $5.4 billion US. with that kind of money, 97% of the inhabited village in India have got electricity access. So all the villages have access. Maybe all households do not have access. In the last 8 years, around 21 million households have been electrified, and around 107,000 villages have been electrified. So these are huge, huge numbers. We have, in fact, used this as an opportunity to bring in market transformation in energy efficiency as well. While electrifying these 21 million households, 2 bulbs, CFL bulbs, were given to each family. At that point in time, CDM mechanism was also quite active, and with these kind of huge numbers through public procurement, market transformation occurred, and with the help of CDM, the price of the incandescent lamp came out to be equal to the price of the CFL lamp. So now most of the people are using CFL lamp, but the next this scheme is going to be extended to cover the remaining households. Villages have been electrified, but households still, 33% of the households are still not accessed. Now there we are looking for an opportunity to create a market transformation for the LED bulbs. Around 20 million LED bulbs will be purchased by Government of India and will be provided free of cost to the households living below poverty lines. Now, with these kind of huge numbers, we expect that the price of LED bulb will also come down. So this is an opportunity which we are using to, in fact, create a market transformation. Now, after this electrification, this is the kind of, because this is a regular modern electricity which is being provided. One part of the scheme is that where the villages are very remote, there is decentralized distributed generation system using renewable resources. So there you can see that because of this solar panels, etc., the electricity has been provided to the households. Now, there are many schemes of renewable technologies which is being used as on a decentralized basis, family-sized biogas plants, solar street lighting system, etc., etc. Now, all these schemes essentially cater to women needs. Now, solar cooking naturally reduces the drudgery of women. There are shops, Akshay Urja shops are being owned by women, and there are many experiments have taken place in the decentralized system, using of decentralized system for as energy access. Now, in this, I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what the NGOs are doing together with the government. Now, for example, at a place in Damodara, out of total 40 families, 32 families own a solar lantern that they have purchased on installment. And in the last 2 years, they have been able to pay back the cost of the loan. They have been able to repay the loan back. Innovative market schemes. And this domain is being taken by the NGO sector. Now, I think Barefoot College at campus at Tilonia, this is a very oft-quoted example where nearly 16,000 solar units and 1,500 rainwater harvesting structures have been established. Community radio and digital empowerment foundation have been established by the Barefoot College. All the women are trained to actually fabricate, install, and maintain the meter parabolic system. This is another example. Huss power system has been installed. This is to bring women essentially in the economic activities to use excess of energy to bring in economic activity at the village level. also, a lot of training has been given to the women to have sustainable method of livestock rearing and fodder cultivation. So this domain has been captured by the NGOs, and they are doing very good work in this with the help of the public, with the help of policy of Government of India. This is, I wanted to say we had run, of course, most of the countries have their own standard and labeling schemes where they are increasing the efficiency of the appliance market by having higher standards. Now, we ran a scheme with women as a focus of attention, and we could see that there are a lot of the market transformation has occurred in many of these appliance markets. Now, I wanted to make 2-3 remarks regarding the discussions which we had since morning. Karin from Department of Energy made a point regarding establishment of standards for traditional power plants. A very innovative scheme has been undertaken by Government of India, which is called the PAT scheme. Most of you might be familiar with this. This is called the Perform, Achieve and Trade, wherein there have been, in the 8 power guzzling industries, the standards have been set. And the industry has to achieve those targets in a 3 years' time. If they overachieve the targets, then they are issued the white certificates, which are traded on the exchange. And if they are underachieving, then there are penalties. It's a scheme which has been well documented, and we are collaborating with many countries on learning of this scheme. And one of the important industry there is the power plants with coal-based power plant. Now, to bring in more efficiency, since 50% of our emission is contributed by the power plants, so their very stringent standards have been set. So those that will bring in a lot of efficiency because we have to meet the need of the country, which cannot be met only by more renewable energy. So we are trying to bring in more efficiencies in the existing plant and also supercritical technology, etc., in the new plants. 3 more schemes which I wanted to just touch base was, one is the Women Scientist scheme. Now, lot of discussion held around those how if the women who want to pursue their careers in the science field, what happens if they have to leave their jobs in between when there is a child rearing age for them. So Government of India has come up with a very innovative scheme that those women scientists and technologists who are between the age group of 30 to 50 years and who desire to pursue their science and innovation in science and work in technology, they are given scholarship by Government of India, and then they are then mainstreamed in the industry. There is another to have innovative, to encourage women to have come into the business of energy. There is a bank which has been set up only for women. This Women Bank has come up with a seed capital of $200 million, and it's likely to become functional by March 2014. And another scheme, that is the gender-based budgeting. All schemes of Government of India are audited for their gender, what expenditure they have done on gender, on the schemes which benefit women. So I think there is a combination, there is a challenge to provide access, bring women in mainstream, and but I think we have to continue to do it. Gender issues will continue to be a challenge to be mainstreamed in governance and decision-making processes of sustainable energy, and its leadership role will continue to need to be promoted. And I think in the C3E on the C3E platform, if we could have compilation of case studies and best practices of women's role in clean energy, that can be disseminated. And for this, there will be a continuous struggle to promote gender equity in planning, designing, producing, supplying, and managing sustainable energy solutions. One question was asked, what else the C3E should do? I think those people who are working at the grassroots level, the women who are actually finding solutions themselves to have cleaner access to energy, they should also be made brand ambassadors, because we cannot have it only an elite institution of only complementing people in the leaders at a very high leadership position. Those actually who are working at the ground level, especially in the developing countries, where the issues are much more challenging and complex, they also need to be encouraged. Thank you very much.